I think Glasgow is a really lucky city because it has lots of amazing green space, and for me, having these spaces in the city makes the city a much more welcoming and enjoyable place to live in. I think it's really nice that we have the chance to experience nature even in the city, which Glasgow provides lots and lots of opportunities for.
Botanic Gardens, Kelvin Walkway, my allotment, all those are really important to me, and I'd be kind of lost without them really. And it's wonderful in the West End of Glasgow particularly to feel that you're almost in the country and yet you're actually in the heart of the city. The River Kelvin running through with all those woods and nice walks through them and so on just makes a lovely green lung for the city.
I think, Glasgow does have a reputation as being a green city, and I think that we're beginning to value all of the spaces, all of the open spaces now, thinking about how people might want to use it, and how wildlife can benefit from that.
We've just been setting up some pitfall traps for the year. They catch things like beetles and woodlice and slugs, and I visit them every now and again and just see what's been found. Green spaces, including gardens and public green spaces, are really where the wildlife is making its home these days.
Well, I've been working here for a while, and last year there was a wonderful flock of finches. There were bullfinches, greenfinches, and goldfinches all together. It was really exciting. And today, just now, we just heard a bullfinch. So this area is really good for birds. For people who are just becoming interested in birds, it's great.
One of my jobs is to work in all of Glasgow's green spaces to try to get local communities and school children using these spaces to take part in wildlife recording activities. And through my job, I'm really lucky enough that I'm able to actually visit and see a lot of different local green spaces throughout Glasgow, and I've managed to see it through different perspectives. So it's been really great to see how different community groups use the areas and how they actually utilise the spaces that they do have.
Well, I think they can radically change a place. If you take the Children's Wood in North Kelvin Meadow, for example, it's a wild space. It's not too manicured, so it allows so many different species and plants that you might not get in other places to flourish. So I think it provides that rich sort of biodiversity that we need in urban communities. What makes me really happy about the change is that children really weren't playing so much on this space, and people did see it as scary, and now it's almost like a different place. People don't see it that way any longer and get so much pride and pleasure because they've actually co-created the space, and the children have invested in it, and I hope that will change, that will stay with them for life. They'll then as an adult take care of their local areas and really care about them.
We really rely on working with groups of volunteers to do a lot of the work in our park. So within the Seven Lochs, we've got the Seven Lochs Volunteers Group who are out every week working for us, doing a whole range of projects around the park. Hogganfield is definitely one of the best places to come and see, particularly wildfowl, waterbirds. You can get really close to things like your mute swans here, and you've also got Icelandic whooper swans. Definitely need to protect the green spaces we've already got. I think we are, here at Seven Lochs, that's really what we're about. It's about making better use of the green spaces that we've got and connecting them up as part of a wider network of green spaces.
I think well-managed, well-used green space is incredibly important throughout the city, but also the connections between those. It's a place where you can escape, it's a place where you can go and chill. It's full of wildlife, and it's a fantastic resource for people. We had people who volunteered here, who have gone to higher education. We have an employability project. A lot of people learn basic practical skills and conservation skills, and how that's been a catalyst for change. and a transformation in their health, employment and life prospects.
Since we have lots of trees, you can already see that there's lots of bird nests already, and we have a few bird homes. And because we have so many flowers and we are the school of the bumblebee, it's really good because that attracts lots of bees.
Well, with the RSPB we have like bird houses, we can have bee home things, we make things in school sometimes. It's good that we can do things to help different sorts of wildlife.
We are here at Glasgow University's Wildlife Garden with Glasgow University's Wildlife Garden Group. Basically the idea is to start managing this space for wildlife and for people alike. So you need to sort of marry the two. So obviously we're doing the path maintenance this afternoon. So the idea is to make this look like it's managed, but to keep these areas either side full of hedging, full of trees, full of wildflowers, so that we get that aspect of good for people but really good for wildlife as well.
Yes, I can remember back to 1988. I came up as a teenager to visit Glasgow, and one of the key attractions was Glasgow Garden Festival. So it was a massive, big event. I think there was 4 million people there over the 6 months that it ran. So that adds up to about 25,000 a day. But even when you were there with that many people, there were a lot of attractions. It was a big celebration of open space.
It was a great event actually, the Glasgow Garden Festival. But the big downside to setting up a particular site and having a whole lot of things located there was what happens after that. What's the follow-up? What's what do you take from it that helps inform the future? I hope that when we have festivals in the future, and things like the festival the RSPB organises are of this sort, they're going to be annual. They're going to be aimed at improving things in the long term, so there are future events that are going to arise from them, rather than just being one-off and people saying, oh well, that's it forever.
I feel like in our citywide thing we have a lot more change, because in very busy roads, for example Byres Road, Great Western Road, George's Cross, those really busy streets, a lot of people there, they do maybe a lot of driving, a lot of trains. We could put maybe some plants along Byres Road, we could put maybe some bushes, or maybe some bushes hang from trees. You get little baskets and there's bushes in them. We could get maybe some homes for animals, and I feel that'd be great for nature, because then it's giving them a home. And I feel like since we've taken over most of their homes, like you can see foxes running about in the street, it'd be nice to give them a home back.
Even in the proper urban landscape, pedestrianised zones, trees come up through there, but I also would like to see more crops actually grown in the city. Areas set aside for, yes, people do grow in allotments, but they've actually, there's not as many of them as there used to be, and they do kind of need to come back. There's great pleasure in growing your own, but also things run by the city, crops run by the city, so people come in and they just do their own and they can grow their own and things like that, just to see more of that, see more of the usefulness of plants, get people to connect even better. I'd like to see more of that.
Well, we're doing more and more work. The community garden here, we started in 2010, but we're starting to do more work across the whole neighbourhood, so we're taking the garden out to the streets effectively. So I think our hope would be not only could we continue to manage and the community garden here to thrive, but we could actually spread our green tendrils a bit further across the streets in and around, so that even if people are living in tenement flats, they can feel that the area around them is still quite green.
In the future, I'd like to see more for sustainability, finding the spaces within communities that can be nurtured. So, for example, our space here is great because so many people can walk to it. I'd like to see that happen in more communities. It's not more formal parks. Well, the formal parks are great and we should have them, but also these more informal spaces where, it's less manicured and it creates a different space and can bring people together.
Over the years, a lot of work has gone into improving our parks for wildlife. There's been protection of parks. The Garden Festival was 1988. The first Wildlife and Conservation Policy was 1989. Since then, there's been the Nature Conservation Act Scotland, which enhances and protects all the wildlife. And in the council, we've got the Biodiversity Action Plan. So again, we're working with organisations such as the RSPB and a whole range of organisations to work together to make these green spaces more vibrant for everyone. It's not something the council does on its own. It really is local people like their local sites, so get as many people involved as possible so we can all work together. Limited resources these days, but if we all pool our resources, we can achieve a lot more together.